Dennis Green with the Stewardship System. Thank you so much for your willingness to serve as an ambassador for the Church Stewardship Campaign. Your role is vital. You're a champion for stewardship, and you're a face-to-face human contact for the Stewardship Campaign. Now, we've learned a lot over the past 20 years in helping churches with their stewardship efforts, the right way to proceed and the wrong way to proceed. We've learned by trial and error and collecting research on stewardship, on the ways to encourage generosity without offending people. In the old days, we used to go door to door and have that pledge card in hand and not leave till we got the pledge card signed. Today we're a little different. We need the social contact, but it's more important for people to base their stewardship commitment in relationship to their prayer life. Their decision to give is between them and God. Our training today is going to equip you to be a success, so let's walk through that agenda. First, we're going to review the giving overview of what does giving look like today in the church world. We're going to review the importance of your job. We're going to equip you with 3 techniques to be a success. We're going to give you a handful of tools to equip you to answer every question or situation that you might encounter. We're going to address your questions and concerns. We're going to look at the next steps and action items, and we're going to conclude with a prayer. Now, your contact with these people is not going to be a surprise. Remember, before you call, before you visit, make that human contact, they've received stewardship education. They've been through a time of prayer. They've read the brochure. They've heard about it from the pastor. They've heard lay speakers present the case for stewardship. They've read about it in the bulletin, the newsletter. Probably a dozen different contacts have been made about the campaign. You are less asking them to make a pledge than serving as a reminder that now is the time for action. That's the final element in a decision to give. Now is the time. So let's walk through what giving looks like in church today. Unfortunately, the average person only gives 1 to 2% of their income to their church. Only 5% of the people tithe. That means 95% of us have room to grow in our stewardship. Only 2% of the youngsters, and I define that as people younger than me, under the age of 40, only 2% of them tithe. Of the few that do tithe, less than 4% give that complete tithe to their church. Overall, in the past couple years, since 2008, giving to churches has hit a speed bump. 37% of all churches have noted a decline. 24% have reported a flat level of giving with no increase. That means 61% of all churches need some help in stewardship. Our approach should have a significant impact. Our goal is to increase generosity, to grow in the grace of giving. We want people to embrace the idea that God's blessings flow through us. We're meant to be like the Sea of Galilee, not the Dead Sea. Let's talk about the importance of your job. You put a face on the campaign. You're a human being making a human touch to the campaign effort. You're going to help educate people about how important their role is in the success of the church. You're going to encourage giving, and you're going to convey gratitude and thanks. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably a good idea for you to thank people at the beginning of your dialogue and at the conclusion of your dialogue. Let's take a quick campaign overview. You know the date of your Commitment Sunday. Our goals that we've set as a committee for your church. We want to increase the number of pledges, we want to increase the amount pledged, and we want to encourage people who don't yet pledge to get involved by making a commitment to their church. Our campaign objectives are to build a culture of generosity and to teach stewardship. We'd like to work ourselves out of a job. Hopefully someday an annual campaign won't be needed because people get the idea of God's blessings flowing through us as God has created us to do. So plan your approach when you make your human contact. Visualize your audience. Tailor your comments to each of those people individually. Review your material so you're equipped for any questions. Practice. Find a friendly face and run through it a time or two. A friend, a neighbor, your spouse, someone you serve on a committee with. Make sure to be genuine. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. You're a member of the church. You're a member of their spiritual family. Be genuine. Be yourself. All right, now I want to walk through 3 specific things. When you make that call, you're going to open with a thanks for your participation. Thanks for being a member of our spiritual community. Let them know the nature of your call. Let them know, hey, I'm Dennis Green. I'm a member of the Ambassador team. I'm calling to check in with you before Commitment Sunday. Do you have a moment we can chat? Most people will say yes, but respect their time. If they don't, set another time in the future. First question you want to ask, did you receive the materials? If not, record that on your call log. Find out what their correct address and zip code is, and right away get that to the office if we need to send out another one. That's number one. Number two, ask people how they feel about the campaign. Ask if they have any concerns, questions, or feedback. Now you want to note that on your call log. Make sure you're a good active listener. Repeat back their question to them to make sure you're answering the right question. In your packet, you've got a good question and answer sheet in which we've hopefully identified the common questions and answers. Go to that for your answers. If you got a tough one, let them know. If you don't know the answer, I'll get with my committee chair and get back with you. The third thing you're going to do is ask them to prayerfully consider a pledge to the campaign. The decision to give is between them and God. Most people won't have a lot of questions and concerns, but if they do, be respectful, be an active listener, and move towards conclusion with requesting that they consider making that pledge. Share your excitement. Encourage support. Remind them of the date. Remember, you're setting this event horizon. Now is the time for action. Let them know their participation is very valuable. Direct them to the brochure if they've got further questions or concerns, because we've packed a lot in there. It's also a guide for giving as well. Say thank you. Thank you for considering your support to the church. We need you. Thank you for considering what you might do. Encourage them to be prayerful about their decision and their commitment. Now, your committee chair will equip you with a call list. You'll be provided with names and phone numbers that you'll call. Most calls will last a minute or two. Most people don't have questions. They just need that little reminder that now is the time for action. It would be very rare for that call to exceed a couple of minutes. You'll leave a lot of phone messages. We've included an answering machine script. If you have 50 phone calls to make, it should take you a couple hours to do. I would plan that over a couple nights and maybe a Saturday morning. We've discovered the best times to call are between 7 and 9 p.m. and then after 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. If you do get an answering machine, make sure you leave a message. It's an odd thing to see a call arrive with no connected message to that. So we encourage you to leave up to 2 messages: name, your phone number, and the purpose of your call. You also have a conversation script. Feel free to deviate from that to match your personality. You've got a question and answer handout in your packet. Use it frequently. You've got a call log. Let us know if we've made any mistake, if there's any problems. Again, if you have a crisis, let your committee chair know, or the pastor. Don't try to solve that problem, but just let them know that another human contact is needed. We're going to conclude now, but I want to make sure your committee, you know that your committee chair is ready to answer any concerns or questions that you might have. Are there any questions that you might anticipate that we didn't get on that Q&A sheet? Let's talk about that right now when we conclude this video. I hope you feel comfortable in this role. I want you to know how important you are, because you're a human contact. You're a champion for stewardship, and you're an ambassador for your church. Don't take it personally if someone doesn't want to give or they're unable to give. Go forth and do your job. That's the most each of us can do. Now, the next steps is we want to make these personal contacts in the 2 weeks before Commitment Sunday. Don't start calling till you know they've received their packet in the mail. Now, you might want to consider a party for all the ambassadors to gather together and make their calls. That's kind of a fun thing to do. You can gather refreshments. Start with prayer. Conclude with prayer. We're going to end now, but I want you to remember you got 3 jobs. You call and check, did you receive the material? Do you have any questions? Please prayerfully consider your gift to our church. Pray before you begin. Pray when you conclude. I know you'll be a success. So thank you very much for volunteering. Good luck. Go forth. God bless.